wait for this just a second. Okay, you guys. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Jennifer Blackert.
And I'm Leonka Reyna.
And this is the How to Hustle Morning Show. Today, we're talking with Kimberly Trefz, and we are talking about really breaking some of those spells, especially when it comes to money and really choosing for your biggest life. This week, I don't know where you all are at, but I've been playing with not loving the familiar feelings, right? Like I'm kind of like, there are things and routines in my life that I've really chosen for myself that are familiar, but I'm thinking it's time to break some of these
Mm.
boredom rhythms. I don't even know if that's a good sentence or not, but it's time to break some of those boredom rhythms. And I feel like maybe we'll break through some of that today.
Yeah, super exciting. And I remember last time I was on with Kimberly, it was eventful to say the least.
There were tears. If there's tears and laughter and all the frequencies, we're loving these calls.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. But first
Great.
up, just a little bit of space weather news. Today we have a big sunspot alert. A large sunspot has emerged over the sun's northern limb. It's numbered 4079. It appears to be the second coming of the sunspot 4055, which grew into the word they're using is behemoth. This very, very large sunspot during the last 2 weeks around while it was not Earth facing. And per tradition, sunspots are renumbered every time they cross the solar disk. What's important about this particular sunspot and the one that we had last time is that when I was looking at some research done by some geophysicists, they really made the correlation about photons being emanated, just blasting the Earth with lots of charged particles and photons, which also create this seismic can create actually very large earthquakes. So we saw that with the earthquake in Miramar in April. And we also saw that with the 6.1 in Istanbul. And so basically what it means is that we're just getting inundated with so much light. Now we know that light brings us a lot of goodness and a lot of ascension, but it also brings us a lot of unsettled feelings. If the earth can feel it in its subduction zones, then we know our biological and physiology can definitely experience this too. So please take a nap if you are feeling so energetically drained. I know for me, I was very energetically drained the last couple of days. It felt like it literally felt like something was like pulling me down and going, just sleep. So I know because I do a little bit of my research that if my body is telling me to sleep, probably my spirit guides are telling me they want me to sleep and integrate a lot of this beautiful light that's coming in. So I've learned to listen to that, even though I kind of kicking and screaming because I was never the one for naps when I was little. But it is super important to get that rest and to do that integration so that we can continue to ascend. And also, I mean, we're going to ascend anyway, but so that we can continue to integrate these really powerful streams of beautiful, beautiful white light. However, it does affect our physiology. So, what are the things I always say to do? Remember to hydrate, ground, and give yourself a lot of grace. And that's what I got from Mystic Space Weather News.
Fabulous. Just a little bit of a morning brew for me. This weekend I came out to the beach, if you didn't notice a different change in scenery behind me. And we went to Sandfest, which brings in sand sculptors from all over the globe. And they build these sculptures that are 17, 18, 20 feet high, all out of sand over 3 days. So you go on Friday and they've hardly started anything, and you're like, I wonder what this is. And then by Sunday, it is like completed. I posted a bunch of them in the Facebook group for Mystique. But if you want to check them out, I'm going to post them as well to my Instagram at Hey Jennifer. So just check them out. It's profound. You look at this and you're like, this is sand. I think this is just sometimes you just have to take a minute and go, wow, isn't it cool that somebody thought that they could take sand and make it like into a sculpture, like you, or ice, right? So anyway,
Yes.
that's been kind of my mesmerizing moment this week, and I wanted to share it all with you. So that's just a reminder. Also, like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. The YouTube streams are really growing, and we'd love to see you over there as well as on the Zoom feed.
Yeah, thanks. A
All
couple
right, I'm going
comments.
to go ahead
A
and
lot of
bring
people say that they
Kimberly.
want to go see those. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I do, I know I have always wanted to go see them. They're very, very beautiful and super mesmerizing. Can only imagine. Pictures don't do them justice.
No, you can't tell that they are that big in the pictures. I'm like, come, let's stand in front of one so we can see how big they are. Because I mean, and they have these deep, profound messages. One of them was this like broken clock, and it's kind of said something like stop time, and it's this little baby crawling up steps, and then it
Oh,
becomes like an older child, and then on the backside it's like a teenager on all their social media, their headphones and everything. It was funny, we walked about a mile to get to the whole thing. And, Joe pointed out a few things to me, and I pointed out a few things to him on the way up. And one of the things we pointed out, I was like, here's a typical family. Both the women friends are out there drinking beer at 11 a.m. in the morning while their teenage son is sitting on a chair trying to shade himself so he can see his phone. And then their two little girls are playing in the water.
oh.
I was like, maybe that was my message. That should have been my morning brew with woo in a way. So,
I
but
think
it's
all of
a,
it is.
yeah. I feel like I'm in a different world after being in the show for a year and a half because I just see things different. And I'm like, wow, is this world? It's really interesting how we're all stereotyped in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And what is it that we can do to break out of that familiar box? And I really feel
Which,
like that's calling the message forward today.
yeah, totally. Yes.
So go ahead and bring Kimberly up and we will get started. All right. Hi, Kimberly.
Hello, Janet. Hello, Leonka. It's lovely to be here today.
You didn't wear red?
I didn't know.
You didn't get the energetic memo?
Ah,
Uh, Kimberly, I know that I looked at a lot of your work, and I know a lot of it's on looking at the spells of our life. And I feel that this feeling where we're constantly going into familiar and we're not actually seeking to do different things in our life, have different experiences. Like we might go to Europe one year and then 5 years later we go to Europe again, right? Like it's an experience, but is it something that's actually going to push our energetics and our human nature and the evolution of us being a human forward? And I feel that it's got to be in a spell upon us. And I mean, just looking at how the brain works, even how the AI works, is so much of a conditioning where we're constantly firing and wiring these situations and stitching them together in our mind. So let's talk about how we break through some of the lies and spells that we have been creating in our life every single day.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not because we fell asleep one day and forgot that we knew things. It's not that, we took a magic pill and forgot that we knew things. It's that we've been conditioned from an early age that there are things outside of our control. That's what we decided because we were little. And let's say we wanted a toy or we wanted an ice cream cone or whatever that thing was that we wanted. And we thought it was perfectly legitimate to ask for it. And we were pretty much knowing we were going to get it. And then we got shut down, right? And the first thing that happens when we shut down is that we hold our breath and we kind of like come back a little bit, or we even go so far as to shrink a little bit physically, just so that we're out of the crosshairs of whatever the negativity that we perceived was, right? Here's the thing though, when you're a child and you perceive these happenings, you don't think, oh, 10 minutes ago, my mother was just, I don't know, doing the bills and she was feeling very badly about the bank account. Or a few minutes ago, my dad got a phone call that that thing that he made at work broke and he has to go fix it. So we don't correlate why we're getting the responses we're getting. We just know, oh, when I ask for something, I get a negative response. They're big, I'm little,
Mhm.
And then we get to learn to be afraid of when other people are expressing their feelings. So we learn to diminish our own feelings. So those two things right off the top, I mean, think about it. You're going to go into a job interview and it's a man that looked like
I'm
your uncle
never
who got
doing
mad that
that.
time, right? Immediately you're brought back to that moment when you were with your uncle who was big and scary, and you're going to hold your breath and you're going to shrink and you're not going to be present. And here this person could be completely lovely, but you'll never even know because you'll never see it. So I think, you know, if I don't even know if I put everything in my bio that I've done. It's kind of maybe almost embarrassing how many things I've done. But I've been an engineer for 30 years for Merck. And that's actually coming to an end at the end of the summer. And I'm conditioned to work for Merck. I'm a contractor, but I'm still conditioned to work for Merck. So now that they've told me my contract is coming to an end, even I am like, for 1 minute, there was a holding of the breath and a short panic because I'm conditioned to do that thing. And then I thought, oh, maybe this is an opening for something else. And since I've done all this other work, maybe I know to breathe
Mhm.
and to allow change.
Mhm. Yeah.
So,
For yeah, for let's just start there a little bit too. I know that last time I had you talk a little bit about how you came into this work for the people that are joining us new. Can you tell us a little bit about how you came into spell breaking and what that is?
yes. So, I came into spell breaking because about 15 years ago, I discovered meditation because my nervous system was completely jacked, was worried about everything. And meditation helped so much, and it helped so much, and then it plateaued. So then I got certified in yoga, and that helped so much, and then that plateaued. So fast forward 10 years, there's probably, I don't even want to tell you how many certifications, because what was the thing that was going to get me to stop plateauing and to actually step forward and to be, you know, everyone says, I want to be happy. Everybody wants to be happy, right? But what is that? And I think if you're not calm and you're not okay with yourself and you're not okay with things not working out exactly the way you want them to be, then you're not going to be happy. So I found the thing that allowed me to step past all the programming and to get into the space where I can be calm and I can be happy and I can be effective in what I'm doing, and that is spell breaking. And what are spells? I think last time, Leonka, we had a short just an example, and you really liked that. Should we do it again, or would you like to do that again?
Sure, I don't mind being the person. Jenneth could also be the person too, but I'm more than happy either or
Okay,
we could
okay.
even have someone else volunteer.
Okay. Would
However,
anybody
yes.
like to volunteer for, I mean, everybody's going to do the exercise. If you can hear my voice, please participate. But
Mhm.
Jenneth, would you like to step in for a moment?
Yeah, do I know what I'm choosing? Do I have to choose something?
I'm,
Okay.
I'm just going to give an example.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Okay. So first things first, we all know we have a body and the body brings our consciousness around the world, right?
Yes.
And how we,
I wouldn't agree to that. No.
no,
I think that we are oneness and a part and all of the field, and the field works through our being and body. But I don't agree with the way that you said it. Like our body doesn't take our consciousness around the world. I don't agree with that.
Okay. Um, your body is a vehicle that you have. Can we agree with that? You have a body. It
Yes.
I have a
appears you
body,
have a
yes.
body.
I agree with this.
And when you are upset or nervous, you can shrink your body, you can, move back, you can do a lot of things.
Mm.
And for the breath and for the consciousness, the best thing you can do for yourself is to sit up straight and to put your shoulders back and to actually assume a position that supports your consciousness and supports your breath.
Hmm.
And so the first thing I ask everyone to do when you are going to participate in any of the spell breaking is to assume a position in your body that actually supports your consciousness and supports your breath. So, to sit upright, don't be leaning on your shoulder, don't have your hands in
Okay.
front of your face, right? To actually sit up straight. And when you take your inhale, allow the breath to really fill the belly and fill the chest and allow the breath to fill the space between every cell of your body, including the vertebrae in the space between your vertebrae, so that now you're elongating your spine. And now you feel very open and your body feels relaxed. So now your mind can also follow that relaxation. And breathing through the nose and exhaling through the mouth to really allow a circular exchange of the air in through the nose and out through a nice loose jaw so that any tension that you had in your jaw that you're not even realizing you have. That's just one more place you can add relaxation to your body. Now, while you're breathing in this nice circular way, nice calm, nice full, nice deep way, imagine a spell can be any group of words that you put together. And one of the shortest spells can be the word yes and the word no. So if you want to, you can close your eyes and you can imagine that there are three of you right now, one to your right, one to your left, and yourself. And the one that's in the middle is your perfect self right now. And the one to your right is your yes self. And the one to your left is your no self. And you both wake up in the morning, you all wake up in the morning, sorry, and you all start this breathing. So you're all aware and conscious of what's happening. And then what are your first thoughts of your no self? One of those thoughts could be, oh, it's too early. I don't want to get out of bed yet. And your yes self could be thinking, oh, it's morning. I get out of bed now.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
then your perfect self in the middle could have a little bit of each, like, oh, it's a little bit dreary. I don't want to get out of bed, but at least I have no aches or pains, so I'm going to get out of bed. And then you can imagine you go downstairs and you can have breakfast if that's what you do in the morning.
Hmm.
And your no self can be thinking, oh, there's nothing cooked. I can't just, there's nothing in the cupboard. Now I have to cook something. This is a disaster. And your yes self could be thinking, oh, there's nothing cooked. I get to pick eggs. I get to pick bacon. I get to pick a bagel. I get to pick whatever I want. And your perfect middle self could have a combination of those two thoughts. I might not have enough time to cook this, so I want this, but I'm going to have that. But okay, I'll just have this. And you can imagine your whole day. You get in your car to drive somewhere, and there are other people on the planet. There's traffic. So your no self could go into all the stories of, I can't believe there's traffic again. Why does this always happen to me? I can't get anywhere on time. Your yes self could say, hey, there's traffic. I'm going to breathe. I'm just going to breathe. I'm just going to look around. And your perfect self could again have a combination of the two. So if you imagine these are spells, your yes or no. Yes, I'm okay with what's happening. No, I'm not okay with what's happening. And any combination in between.
Hmm.
And it's just how we pattern ourselves, because we could de-pattern ourselves. You've done this in your life before. You've been in a situation where you've had to have that tough conversation and you put it off, you put it off, you put it off, you put it off, you put it off. That's your no self. And finally, your yes self said, it's time to do it. And your perfect self said, okay, I'm going to do this thing. We do it all day, every day. We've done it our whole
Yeah.
lives. So it's just a matter of becoming aware of which self you're following, because you can imagine at the end of a week or a month or a year, where's your no self going to be? Where's your yes self going to be? And where's your perfect self going to be? It's going to be somewhere in between.
Mm.
So that's what spells are. It's just what we think, and we can make it so simple. We can make it so simple. We're either saying, I get to do this, or I want to do this, kind of in the middle, or the other one's, I'm never going to do that. And then you can imagine where you would be at the end of any time period that you pick.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, compound yeses will get you closer, if not to your goal, much faster than compound no's or even the middle way, right?
Well, not necessarily, because
Okay, okay,
yeah,
Mrs.
I mean,
No
I think
today.
that
Let's
this
find
is
out. Yeah,
right,
let's find out.
because if you are saying yes to a bunch of things that aren't in alignment with your vision or your
Sure.
desire,
Okay, yes, I get that.
right,
Yeah.
then you are really getting yourself off track.
Yeah, you do
Oh,
have to
100%.
say, yeah, yeah, I don't think that was something that we
Yeah, I
were
mean,
saying.
look at what happened to Yes Man.
I don't think that was something that we were saying. It's like because you have your outline goal. And so if when I said goal, it was mean that we had already established that there was a goal. So being yes, that if you have a goal, and if you're saying yes, then you're saying yes to things that are closer to your goal. So by the end of that statement, I had already established that we had a goal. But if you don't have established goal, then yeah, you're going to go, you may say yes to a whole bunch of different willy-nilly things that are going to be more busyness versus getting some stuff done.
Yeah, but
I
then,
do that a lot
yeah, yeah,
or have, when,
right.
yeah.
Okay, so then what is this? What, like, so we kind of get how we can differentiate here, but what is, like, how would we actually break a spell that maybe we notice that we're living by and we're living a certain way, but we have resistance to change it? I think that's the biggest question here is how do we get really the life that we lead. I mean, we still have to get to the awareness that, hey, I don't like the choices that I'm making here. I don't like the whatever it is, the clutter in my house or, the way that I address my relationship or something like that, right? I stop liking myself. That's usually when I go, okay, something needs to change here is when I start realizing I don't like myself around it.
But some people may not even realize. I think that's
Well, I
where
know that, I mean, isn't that what
yeah,
this is really about? Is really
right.
opening this spaciousness so that we can unlock and be more the person that we desperately desire to be. The one that works out every single morning and can't wait to always get up. There's truly people out there that are that way.
No, I
And
know.
yeah. So Kimberly, take us further.
Okay, so I love this question. I love it because there are things that we say that we want, right? Does anybody want to give me an example so I can not talk theoretically? Like what is something that someone can give me that they want that they're not going for,
That they're not going for.
right? They're not getting it. They're not getting it for one reason or another, right?
I currently don't have anything in my life that I'm actually not going for at all.
Are
Leon,
you
do you?
getting everything you want? It could be that way too.
I
Like
would
whether
say, yeah.
workout or anything like that, or
Well, I would like
I think
to.
you're probably doing better than I am.
I mean, my son is getting married in October, so I'm actively looking to change my body a little bit, but I'm actually doing the work to do that too.
Good
I mean,
job.
now there was a time in my life that I didn't, and but I mean, currently I am.
Mhm.
Um, well,
Anyone else?
Liana, what is it that I'm not getting? I mean, one of the things I've noticed is that I'm doing a lot of familiar stuff. I want more friends, I want a huge community here. Um, and I think that there are bigger action steps that we could take for that for sure. And maybe work on that one.
Okay.
Lilianka,
You want
you
to
want to
go with
work
that
on
one?
that
Yeah,
with
down with
me?
that. For yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. So for this, I'm going to ask a couple questions. Is that
Okay.
okay? Okay.
Hmm.
So do I understand that you would like to grow your community
Hmm.
and there are action steps that could be taken that are not being taken at the time? Yes?
I
Isn't that what
can't
you
say
said?
yes to that. I mean, I feel like we are, I mean, okay, let's for the conversation say yes. That there's something that we aren't actually looking
Oh
at.
yeah, there's definitely things that we're not doing. I mean,
Okay.
are we fully playing out on like on our socials? No. Have we
No,
hired that
no, I
editor?
don't want
No.
to
Like
anymore, but
but there are
but
action steps, right? There are
yeah.
other people we can hire that would do those things too.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. Let's go with that one. Then we'll go with that.
Okay.
Okay. So now I understand what you're looking at. So let me ask you this, because I'm gonna need, you're gonna need to answer the questions here.
Hmm.
So, in order to get a larger community going that you would like to have, what things would you have to do that you don't want to do? Meaning, if I go for having a larger community, then I would have to blank.
Well, one of the next things we're going to do is do a webinar that's going to run ads to it. Uh, but I don't want to share too much of that on the
Mhm.
show because it's going to be a surprise.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, maybe we choose a better example. Who would like to do this in the audience? Because I don't feel like, I mean, I'm finally in a place in my life that I am making all these choices and I am making courageous choices I mean, I'm even learning, I'm on streak 171 in Duolingo, man. I Peloton every day. I mean, I'm like busting my ass to do all the things this year, but I know that in the past I haven't. So I feel like I'm a horrible example of this. But I feel like there's got to be someone in the audience that's like, I'm stuck around something.
Sure.
Yeah.
I know this is
I
like
mean,
you
it
get
sounds
free.
weird that I would say that, but I can't like come up with one.
Well,
Who
why
from
don't you
our
just use
inner
regular?
circle
Why
would
don't you
like to
use
play?
regular social media? Because that is something that you're reluctant to do, right? In its full out
I
capacity.
don't want to do that. I've
That's
gotten really
that's what she's
clear on
saying. If you don't want to do it,
we've got
right.
a
She's
path
saying
to
if
do
you
it.
don't want to do it, that could
Yeah.
be one of the things.
Okay, let's do a I don't want to do it thing. Can we do that? Break the spell on I don't want to do it?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. Okay. So we're going with social media?
Yeah,
Yes, let's do that.
we'll
Okay.
both do it.
Okay. Okay.
Because we
Awesome.
both don't want to do it.
Okay.
And none of our audience even wants to go there and help us out anymore. So we're done.
Oh,
Oh,
this sounds like a
conclusion,
lose-lose
conclusion.
here. I don't know, but okay.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just gonna back up one step. One
Okay.
step. You asked, so I asked initially, if you are hoping and wishing and wanting something that you're not getting, right? Because if we're
Okay.
all infinite, unlimited creators of our own reality, and we're wanting and wishing and hoping for something, we would already have it, except for there's something in between where we are and what we have and what we want to have. Can we agree on that? That there's
Yeah.
something in
Sure.
between, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one of the first questions is, and normally when we do this, you close your eyes, you're breathing, you're feeling your body, you're not just thinking, you're actually doing the process as Leonka had done the last time.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. So here we go. Let's just take a deep breath and think about social media.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And this all came up to gather more followers. So social media in the vein of gathering more followers.
I guess building a bigger community.
There you go. Bigger community. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. So if you want to build bigger community through social media, then you will have to. What's the
Post
first
more
thing that comes
often.
to mind? I'm sorry.
I
Post
disagree.
more often
I think
and with more regularity.
Okay.
I think it's post more true, profound shifts that people can have.
There you go. And for me, it's
Really something
post,
that would go viral.
and for me, it's posting more personal, talks or reels, that type of thing.
Mm-hmm. Like letting people really into my.
In, yeah, exactly. Letting
Mm-hmm.
people into my, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So then, close your eyes again.
Yeah.
We're not finished. So if I am going to post more personal items and post more often and post more profound shifting content, then that means I would have to.
That means I would have to document more of those profound shifting moments in my world. That means I have to physically open my phone, have that moment, share it, and have makeup on.
Ah, okay.
I feel like
And
I'd have to have a videographer that followed me around and do all the
is
other
that true?
pieces to it. Because I'm not going to do it. I don't like
Yeah,
it.
right. I physically have to open
I
my
don't want to
phone.
spend my life one more moment on my phone. I've hit
Exactly. I don't
Mm,
want
that
to open my
point in
phone
my
while
life that
yeah,
that's not worth it to me. It takes
yeah.
it takes time out of my life. It takes time out of my future, and they never seem to, I don't, I mean, I guess I haven't had something that's really, I want to share for free.
mm.
Interesting point of views that I have
Yeah.
like this, though, isn't
Yeah.
it? It's like all there.
Yeah.
Right. Right. So I was going to ask if I had to do this, I would lose. And Jen, if you just perfectly articulated, you would lose time out of your life. You would
Mhm.
lose time out of your future. You would have to be vulnerable. I mean, you said you don't want to share, so it's the same thing. You would have to be more vulnerable by sharing things you don't want to share, right? So,
Well, yeah, I share everything on the show. And so it's not, I think I'm good on that.
but did
But
you
it's
say there
like
were things
taking
that
the
you didn't
time
want to
out.
share?
I just, I think I've gotten to a place around it where I'm just like a no on it. I'm like, yes, I really want the how hustle. I keep sharing updates. Like here's the next speaker. We share, here's the podcast out on Wednesday. Those are the kind of things that I'm happy to share those updates. But if I have to do the work myself with my thumbs and my phone, I'm pretty much made a decision that that's not how I want to live my life.
Right, right.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so is there a world in which you don't have to use your thumbs and your phone to put out more content on social media? Is there are there
Yes.
any possibilities where that can happen?
Yes.
and that you would not lose your freedom and you would not lose your future and you would not lose your time.
Yes. That would be a videographer walking behind me, taking and documenting things
And
of my life.
how much do you want that? How much do you really want a videographer documenting your life and walking behind you and having to have hair and makeup or not? How comfortable are you having that?
Yeah, we could do that. We've done things like that before. Uh, the question, is, we still have to come up with the narratives and I think there's possibility around this, actually, now that more we talk about it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I feel like all my walls up around it.
I know, I can feel it too.
I'm like, "Ugh."
And I'm going, okay,
I'm like, this
so
is the ickiest topic ever.
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 Ever. So yeah, but then there's the budget around having a videographer. And when you
Yep.
look at it compared to using our thumbs, immediately we're like, yeah, okay, I'd rather
We'd
use
rather
my
use our
thumb.
thumbs, right?
Yeah, I know, right? So
Right.
that again, another wall, right?
Right. And then you've already said that's what you don't want to do, right? You don't want to use your own
You don't want to
thumbs
use your
and you don't
thumbs.
want to worry
I
about
get what
hair
she
and
means by
makeup.
don't.
And
Yeah.
so this is the spell when you really dig into I want this. Okay, so if I want this, what will I have? I will have to do what? And it's your thoughts around what you'll have to do. It's not the truth. It's your thoughts,
Yeah,
right? Because you just said there's a world where there are other ways that this could happen.
True.
So that's how you break a spell. You look at what you want and the two
yep.
questions you ask yourself, if I do this, I'm going to have to, and then you list the thing, and normally it's
Uh-huh.
what you don't want.
Ugh.
And then if I go after this, what am I going to lose? And
Uh-huh.
like you said, time out of your life,
Right.
time out of your future. And the third question is, if I go for this, what will they say, or what will they do, or what will they feel? Because a lot of times, maybe not in this situation, but a lot of times if someone wants to, let's use the weight loss thing, right? And you're
Mm.
married and you lose 100 pounds. You want to lose 100 pounds. You're going after losing 100 pounds, whatever. But yet your partner is still 100 pounds overweight. What will they say? What will they feel if
Yeah.
you go for it? And a lot of times, that's the third thing that trips you up, that you cannot move forward because
Mm.
of the they out there. And Lianka, we did that money thing and last time, and I said, what will happen if you make the amount of money you want to make? Will you be showing up family? Will they be upset with you? And there was a little bit of that in there. So that's the third question. Those are the three things
So judgment,
brain.
judgment of others is that last piece.
Or
Yeah.
not that you'll make them sad. You'll make them
Mm.
unhappy. It's not even their judgment. You don't want to hurt them either, which is,
Yeah.
a bigger
Mhm.
a bigger
Wow.
driver of not hurting them than having their judgment upon you.
That really brought up, yeah. So go through them again,
Yeah, I have
but just
that.
so we can write them all down.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you go through them real quick?
Joe says, Jeneth, I'm laughing. What I'm seeing is that you were a great example for this conversation.
Yeah.
So,
Because,
True.
I mean, the truth is, I think that, when I say social media audience, like it'd be nice to have, but it's not worth the effort, right? Like I've already made a
Total
conclusion,
conclusion. Because is that
total
true?
conclusion
Yes.
in my world around this. Like it's like a no. I mean, there's no leeway or anything, and I'm seeing that, and that's all in my brain. I'm like, I am an awful and best example of this in the entire world because, like, I want it until finally I got to the point that I was like, I don't even care anymore. So I
Yeah.
put it in the bucket of I don't care. But obviously, if we're having this conversation, there's a little bit of a care in my world.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the
Yeah.
three questions are,
Okay.
what will I have to do? Well, you can frame it this way. If I go for this, I will have to.
Yeah.
And then you list all the things you're going to have to do. If I go
But
for
that's
this,
still a thought, right? It doesn't have to, I mean, that doesn't even have to be true.
no,
That's what she's
but
saying.
these are your
I
blocks.
know.
That's the point. These
Yeah,
are the
these are the
spells.
lies we
Those are
buy.
the ones that
Wow,
rolled
this
out so
is cool.
fast.
Yeah, I get it. Oh my
Yeah.
God. Wow, this is good. Okay.
The second
Okay.
question
Number
is,
two.
if I go for this, I will lose.
Okay.
And the
And then
third question is, or third statement is, if I go for this, they will.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
do have a little bit of because I came from corporate America and a lot of my friends are all a lot of them are working very diligently for corporate America for some of the places that I've worked for and with and have these really lofty goals. I feel sometimes, and it's not true, but that when I talk about my day-to-day life, that I don't want to make them feel uneasy because I'm not having those experiences anymore. That same struggle and strife. It's almost like I don't want to talk about it because I don't want them to realize that I really enjoy my life. And so I also feel that way sometimes about, isn't that crazy?
Wow.
About social media. And I'm talking about my closest friends, right? Like one of them works at a place that I worked at, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, it's been so rough lately." And I'm thinking like, I don't want to share about my life because I made choices to be here and do a show that I really, really love. And I get to wake up and do things that I really, really love. Now, is there challenges in other ways? Absolutely. But I still love what I'm doing. So I don't want to share on social media because I don't want, what is this? If I go for this, I don't want them to think or something like that. They will, right? Or something
Yeah.
like
If
that.
I go for this, they will. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like they will reject me, right? Or they will judge, or they will whatever, feel bad. I feel bad. They will feel bad, or I will feel bad that they feel
They
bad. I
feel
have no
bad.
idea.
I will feel bad that they feel bad.
Yes,
Yeah.
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 See, I don't really have that in my world
I
as
know.
much. Yeah. Yeah, a little bit though. Yeah, a little bit.
I interact a lot more with my closest friends though. Like I feel
Mhm.
like, I'm saying,
Right.
like I see them all the time, like people.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
And that's because I grew up in this city.
That is pretty awesome though. To that So
Yeah.
is this what you felt was the thing that got you past those ceilings of like work to a point?
Yes,
Hmm.
because I've wanted to start my own company since I got certified in meditation because I feel like meditation is
Yeah.
amazing for
That-
everyone, especially in this world where our nervous systems do not have a break. I mean,
Mhm.
a lot of times we wake up, we pick it up. We start first thing in the morning before we even
Just
get out of
triggered.
bed. And
Mhm.
one thing about texts
I
and
don't.
emails, they're other people's agendas. It's not your agenda. You are immediately waking up and looking at what other people want you to see, want you
Yeah.
to act on, want you to become aware of. It's not, you don't even take, not you, people in general don't even take 5 minutes in the morning to breathe and to look out the window or even open the window, right? Like how many people are in a hermetically sealed, I call it, you're in air conditioning or heat 99.9% of your life. Like get
Hmm.
outside, let the wind hit your face. God forbid you get your hair wet. Let the rain hit your face. Be part of the world that you're in. But how many people don't do that? So I just think for me, I had a tool, yet I mean, I could have been a meditation teacher, right? But two things. One, I thought, well, I'm an engineer. No engineers quit engineering to be a meditation teacher. Sound familiar, Leonka? Right?
Yeah.
So that's number one. And number two, I literally thought, because I went to 4 years of college to do the thing,
Hmm.
how could I get certified after $2,700 and 200 hours to teach anything? I'm
Hmm.
not certified to do that. So I had all of this. Instead of just sharing what I knew helped me, I held that back from the world and didn't help my
Wow.
closest friends and
Yeah.
family because I didn't feel qualified. So
Hmm.
finally, fast forward to getting rid of all my spells, there were people that I graduated with who have full-fledged careers teaching meditation right now. They're in
Yeah.
corporate. Like, hello, I could be in corporate right now teaching meditation had I started in 2015.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So that was a spell I was under. And this is
Yeah.
the thing that finally got me to say, is that true? Because I went through that exercise. Because what you're going to do is you go through these questions and then you revisit it a day later or a week later or a couple of days later and you ask the same questions and you get more silly and granular, right? And or you really get down to the fact like my great Aunt Matilda told me once that I would never amount to anything, so I
Wow.
can't, right? Like you can
Mhm.
get to that granularity and then you ask, even if any of this is true, is there an alternative? Because asking if it's true for you today, and it's true for you tomorrow, and it's true for you next year, until you decide it's not true, it's going to hold you back. But if you ask, is there an alternative to this? Well, that
Mhm.
just opens up the world of infinite possibility, right? So
Yeah.
that's how you use this exercise to get past what is blocking you. And
Right.
that's how I got past.
So after you collect the information,
Mhm.
then, I mean, because what you're collecting is your point of view, like
That's right.
singular point of view.
That's right.
You know,
Mhm.
my next door neighbor who's a social influencer probably has a different point of view.
Exactly.
Right. Right.
Right.
Exactly.
100% does. They're just
Right.
knocking it out like nothing,
Right.
willy-nilly.
And they're going to
Yeah.
knock it out without a professional videographer following them all day, every day. They're
Yeah,
just going to pick
true.
up their phone, makeup or not, say their thing, hit send, and people are going to love it, right? There is
Yeah.
Yeah.
a world in which there's a different possibility to do
Yep.
the thing that you want to do.
Yeah,
And there's a
there is.
world
You're
in
right.
which your thoughts about the thing, like you can even just say, if I didn't have this thought,
Yeah.
what
How
would be
might
Yeah.
possible?
I show up different, or how might this be
Yeah.
Right.
different?
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Uh yeah. Wow. Interesting. It's also mostly interesting how my arms were like, no, it's like a child, right? I'm acting like I'm a 3-year-old child around it. I'm not doing it. You know, it's like,
Well, when you were
what?
sitting there like this in the beginning, and I was like, she's not even listening. Like I could tell with your body language, there was something
I
in you
listen to
saying,
every single word of every speaker says. But I am sitting this way because I did walk
Oh.
almost 3 miles, and I really need to put my leg on a chair
oh, okay.
now. So I actually am sitting this way because of another limiting thing.
Okay. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's and when you put your body, even if you have a scowl on your face, even if you're crossing your arms, even whatever the thing is, you're hunched over, you're leaning back, like, there's all this body language.
Yeah.
If your body and your brain, it's all connected, right? So when
Mhm.
you are opening your body and opening your mind at the same time, and then you get that breath in there to really just flesh out even more space within you.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Boom. That's magic. That's magic right there. Yeah.
Mhm. Okay, so once we've gotten to this point of view, we what you say, you kind of acknowledge your body, your being, and your everything about that point of view.
Yes.
And then what's the next thing? You just to really break through some of these points of view. Is
Yeah.
it
So the next thing when you do ask that question, is there an alternative? And when you look at your questions and you say to yourself, if I don't believe this question anymore, what is available to me right now?
Mm.
And you don't have to go for the videographer. You could go for, well, I know I wash my hair every Thursday. I'm just throwing this out there, right?
Sure,
Mm,
Because
sure,
some people
sure.
don't wash their hair every day. So I know I'm going to wash my hair on Thursday, and I could spend literally 3 minutes putting on makeup. And what I could do is get my phone and do 3 shorts and post them every other day. That's a week's worth of content. Like,
mm,
so what you do is you give yourself the what is available to me right now question. And easy, simple. Keep it simple. Don't make it a grandiose, because what happens when we
Mhm.
make it so grand and so complicated,
Yeah.
that's not available to you right now. That takes a lot more prep, a lot more effort. It might take money, it might take whatever, whatever. That's really not available to you in this moment right now. or within the next 5 minutes, right? So the other thing is simplicity. We complicate everything, everything because we don't want to be embarrassed for getting it wrong. We don't want to be wrong. We don't want anybody else to see us as being wrong, right? So we're trying to be perfect and trying to have a, especially influencers are trying to have a persona and have a whatever. We just can overcomplicate it to the point where we stop ourselves as well.
Sure.
Yeah. So what's
Yeah, I was
available to
thinking, I
me
was
right
like,
now if I don't believe this anymore?
Right.
I mean, there's 2 days a week I know of for sure where we do put on makeup and have hair done
Yeah. I mean,
every
we
week.
and thank goodness for AI because it does make us social media.
Yes, right?
Is
Yeah.
it anything that'll go viral? Probably not, but
Well, you could learn how to go viral. That's not
yeah.
blocking you. You could learn that. I mean, there are
True.
people that teach
Very
that, or you
true.
can Google it. You can go on
Right.
ChatGPT and ask, how do I go viral? And it's going to give you a list of 13, I don't know, 20, I don't know, whatever it's going to do.
Mhm.
But you could learn any skill, right? But if you want to have your hair and makeup on, then on those days when you have that done, you have done your Google search on what you're going to talk about or how you're going to talk about it,
Yeah.
get the hair and makeup on and batch. Do three, four, and then the whole
Yeah.
week, you're
Yeah,
golden.
you're right. You're right. That doesn't take the I'm gonna do this every single moment of my life and use my thumbs in those precious moments with my family. I could keep those far few between if I already had some batch content. Yeah. That
Exactly.
makes sense. That makes total sense.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So, spells are honestly just any number of words that you put together that you've decided is true. And once you make a conclusion, what you're saying is there's nowhere to go from here,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
I know. We
conclusions
know
are our
that. Believe
spells.
us, we know that. Which is why I actually did conclude upon that conclusion that in this one case, this is the way we're doing it. And it will
Yeah.
be give updates, tell about the podcast, and that's it. I mean, because that's the way that was easeful, that's the way it was working. And but I made a conclusion upon a conclusion upon a conclusion almost
Yeah.
in this situation.
Yeah.
Yay for me.
Yes. Yay for bringing this up.
Like, still not doing it.
Oh.
But you know what? A door might open, in which case I'm like, oh my gosh, I have this narrative in my life, and maybe I do start just
Yeah.
sharing about it too, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people would find some relief and a lot of vulnerability with even just this being shared, right? With this information, because I do
Right.
know a lot of entrepreneurs that also realize that they could be showing up in a much bigger way, but have some of the same conclusions that they have limited themselves with,
Yeah.
especially around social media.
Media.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
Wow.
sure.
Very cool. Very cool stuff.
Well, what are some of the ways that you've seen your clients and people that you've worked with what are some of the things that they've experienced when doing this work? Like some of the things that they've broken through, what are some of the spells they've broken and
Mm,
some of the benefits of those?
yeah. I have one client, she's in her early 40s, like maybe she's only 40, and she did not want to have a corporate job. She wanted to do different things, right? And some of it
Yeah.
was helping people with the website or helping with marketing, but she didn't want to work for a company. And she kept running into this pattern where her family wanted her to have a corporate job. So in her head, what she was doing wasn't worthy of her making the money that she wanted to make because she was taking the cues from her family. Now, whether or not her family believes that, that's their reality. She did not have to adopt that reality, right? So when we had the spell break, she actually thought she didn't know how to promote herself. And then when we peeled it back, peeled it back, peeled it back, it was all about how her family perceived her. And I said, well, is it only your family or is it you? Have you bought that? Have you bought that spell? And she's like, oh my God, I did, right?
Oh,
Yeah. So her business has completely shifted because now she's putting herself out there because she's worthy and what she's doing is worthy. So that's one
yeah,
example, you
Yeah.
yeah,
know? I had
Yeah.
another client who was on a leave of absence from work because of just feeling overwhelmed and even getting, physical, feeling in their body, not just thinking in their head that they were overwhelmed, that they
Right.
needed a break. And what it came down to was they had a pretty high position and thought, well, if I quit this job, what will they think of me?
Oh, shoot.
And it
Yeah.
wasn't that they wanted to do it for themselves. Because they know what they want to do, but what's blocking them from doing it? What are the people they leave behind going to think of them? And another really big one, which we got to, which was the aha moment and actually this was on the second session because I was like, there's something else here. What is it? And they actually said, I'm going to be letting them down. To which I said,
Mm.
is anybody on this planet gonna stay in the job that they're in forever?
Yeah.
Anybody? Has anybody ever? And will anybody ever do that? And they said no. I said, well, then it's your turn. Why do you? They're going to take their turn when they want to. And it was like,
Yeah.
ding. So there are just, we're so good at, um, it's almost like having a blindfold on to what our real base bottom line, what's my thing? What is stopping me? We're almost so shielded. We're shielding ourselves from that it just helps to have someone else keep asking the probing questions till you allow
Yeah.
yourself to see what's
Yeah.
going on.
Mhm.
Yeah. Because even when I have a blindfold on, I'm like, oh, I'm keeping this blindfold, like, and I'm
Yeah.
going to defend it.
Yeah.
I'm keeping it because this, and this.
Well, and
Oh, that's
and think
funny.
about it. When we were little, we learned patterns, and
Uh-huh.
we've gotten to this age now, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 decades later, we've survived. We have literally survived because of those survival patterns, right? We
Yeah.
might not like them. We might not like that we keep keeping ourselves small. We might not like that we don't want to get out on social media. We might not like whatever, but we keep waking up every day, so clearly they're working.
Hmm.
We're
Yeah.
not liking the results, but we're alive every day, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's another
Yeah.
reason we do them.
Yeah. They all serve their purpose, is what Dana said.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dana said light bulb moments.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like, that's a way to say it, right?
Light bulb, yes, for sure. It's
Yeah.
lovingly though, because I 100% relate in lots of different areas and have found myself like coming up against those areas, even when we did that last session about money
Mhm.
and what it looked like to have money where when I was little, if I felt like if I had money, then I'd be alienating my most immediate family when they didn't. And that's not the case at all. It's not true at all.
Right.
But
Mm.
that's what my little girl felt.
Yeah.
And that
Mhm.
was very alarming for me.
Yeah.
Because I think my mom would totally like champion me. She's my biggest cheerleader. But my little girl still held on to this feeling of abandoning my family
Mm-hmm.
during those times.
Yeah.
It's so
Mm-hmm.
wild.
Wow.
Yeah.
So wild. Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
I mean, think about it. The more money you make, the more money you can shower on your family. So it's
Absolutely.
so
Yeah.
counterintuitive to listen
Yeah.
to the small voice. But here's the thing: when you made that conclusion at that age, whatever age you were, let's say you were 3 or 4 or 8 or 10, even
Yeah.
you until you look back at how old you were and the situation that kind of perpetuated that or solidified that in your mind, it's your truth, it's your conclusion. Now looking back at the age you are, and you look back and you say, "Oh, yeah, and that conclusion, the fault in that conclusion was, and once you realize that it was just a misperception, boom, it's gone." Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Because today, when I look at it, I'm like, my mom would totally be, she'd be like, oh, Mija, that's amazing, but I didn't realize I was holding on to that old
Mm-hmm.
conclusion from so long ago. And it's not
Mm-hmm.
true,
Mm-hmm.
or at
Yeah.
least it's not true now, but I didn't let it go to see what's available now.
Right.
And it didn't know to look for it either. I didn't know where it was
I
holding me
think
back.
that that was the most interesting thing is I didn't know what to look for at the beginning.
Right?
Like I was like,
Right?
I actually, the things that I want in my life, I am finally going for, right? I mean, I actually am like, do I really even want this in my life? And I think that that's my awareness from it too, right? It's like I've made a conclusion that I have to have this,
That's true too. I can see
right?
that.
This way.
Yeah.
And now doing this exercise makes me go, oh, okay, I'm even more in conclusion about that. And
Yeah.
it's just like, I mean, talk about like conclusion of point of view, conclusion of point of view. I mean, no wonder I feel stuck around it because there's conclusions of conclusions.
Right.
And there's nowhere
Like,
to
yeah.
go if there's conclusions. You know,
Yeah.
I have this like gorgeous, spacious life in every other way because I don't have conclusion about it, quite literally. Interesting.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, Kimberly is offering sessions if you guys want to do something with her. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the page. And Kimberly, you want to talk about some more of the sessions or how having a session, what that might change? Do you want to kind of go through this?
Yeah, yeah. So during the session, I mean, this was a very interactive conversation that we just had here. During the session, it will be a little bit different. You will be, breathing and just closing your eyes and allowing yourself to experience you, perhaps for the first time, to the depth that you're going to allow yourself to experience yourself. And you're just going to be experiencing actually what we call yourself, your thoughts, right? Because if you had completely different thoughts, you would have a completely different life. So this is a space where you're just going to be saying, okay, I want to explore this topic. And we're just going to gently explore the topics with questions. And what you will come out with is a much more, I want to say expansive. It's not, it's going deep within, but you're going to have this expansive view of yourself that you perhaps have not allowed you to have yourself to have since you were 7 when you pretended you were going to be a fireman or a princess, right? We're going to get you back to that amount of possibility in your life because you've not concluded. You're not dead. So there are no conclusions that you have to go forward with ever again. So you mean you guys can read the sales page. I didn't want to touch on the sales page, but really what you're doing is you are allowing yourself to look at what's been holding you back and to say, do I want to follow that anymore? And you may. And it may take a week or 2 or 3 or 4 for you to decide to move forward. And that's okay too, because you've held this thought for decades, possibly.
Yeah.
It's okay to take a few days to allow it to simmer and just expand very comfortably and very naturally.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys, I mean, she gave us this as I twisted a little bit of arm. I went and begged and I was like, hey, we want to make this super irresistible offer for people to choose themselves today. Normally her one-on-ones are normally $500 each. Like she's very valuable for time. And so she's offered to do this for our community only right now for 127. So please, if it is calling you, choose it. Set up a time. You'll get a link right away to book your time to work with Kimberly. We're only taking the first five. The first five. Now, maybe I might get her to accept a couple more than that, but we have a hard cutoff. So this is something that really is calling you, which in just our little bit of time together last time, you'll see my video on there. I mean, I had all the feels and I was able to release and break free from a money spell that had been, it was debilitating, but it was so hidden. And it was really one of those that I had to find and uncover and really dig in to because I was, sitting here like, I don't have that problem.
Yeah, just like I was with social media. Like I've already made a decision around it.
And I thought, my goodness, I had no idea how that was limiting my blocking my blessings, especially around money. So definitely it changes things and it continued to change things. In fact, I went back and listened again and it changes things. So I
Mhm.
highly recommend you, if you are feeling called, you definitely jump in and let us know and choose it because again, she's only doing a limit number. And we got that going on right now.
Yeah, I
If
would put
you're
the link in
looking,
the chat, you
yeah, go
guys.
ahead.
It'll be in the YouTube caption. It will be in the newsletter. You'll find it in the places around this. If you are on YouTube, you can definitely jump in at houthustle.com and join our newsletter so you can get all these wonderful things.
Kimberly, any parting words here? I think there was a couple of comments on the chat, and someone said this turned out to be a really profound conversation. Thank you,
Took a
Kimberly.
minute to get there, but sorry about that, guys. I'm like,
It
where
did
am I
for me.
going?
Oh my gosh. But
Yeah,
yes,
I guess my parting words would be I just want to double back to we've gotten where we are because of the patterns that have gotten us to where we are, and we know that they work. And again, we may not be happy with as far as we've gotten, but we've gotten where we are. So we have to give ourselves a great big pat on the back for knowing enough to get ourselves where we are today.
that's true.
Mhm.
And this is not about changing you. This is not about scolding you. This is not about pointing out where you're wrong or deficient or anything like that. What spell breaking does for you is it just allows you to have a more clear picture of the expansive you that you already are, that you're just limiting by some of the beliefs that you have. And it's okay. It's okay. And you will love whatever amount of expansion you do get from it because this is you calling yourself home to yourself. And you can do that at any pace that you like. So it's not about anything other than, honestly, you becoming the expansion you already are. That's how I want to word it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, good stuff. Thank you, Kimberly.
absolutely.
That was
Leon, any
beautiful.
announcements? Oh, did I break up?
Yeah, I think we
Sorry.
had a little bit of delay. All good. Yeah, we
Okay.
have a couple of announcements. Thank you so much, Kimberly, for being with us today. Guys, if you feel called, just choose it. All the links are there where Jenith explained. And just a couple of things that are going on for this next week. This week we have Danielle on Thursday, so that will be really exciting. She's going to talk to us about these Magdalene manifesting cards. And I was talking about this last time where she really creates, and it's not like an oracle card. These actually are cards that you draw that create a womb for your creations. And she talks a lot about how we are here to create on this earth, and even if that's just the creation of being the beautiful mother to your children and creating more time for them, these cards are here to support that. She also is very profound in the fact that she's channeled Thoth and the Magdalene. There are several Magdalenes, and really worked with those light beings, those ascended masters, to create this beautiful deck. And it's very practical, it's very hands-on. So once we get our spell breaking, then we can move into what are we creating, guys. So this is
Mhm.
exciting times. And then also next week we have two very profound speakers. I don't have them pulled up for you right this
Jill
second.
Madsen
Yeah,
on
that's
sound
right.
healing is one of them for
Yes,
sure.
yes. Jill Mathis, and she does the sound healing. And then also at the end of the month in May, we have a brand new, whole new speaker series coming up. It's the whole week. We've got 3 speakers lined up. It's the whole, all new people talking. We've got a couple people coming back, but mostly you'll find a lot of it's about channeling and really going out into the cosmos and beyond. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We hope you join us and mark your calendars right now for the whole week of May. So last week of May. And then we also are having, just want to remind you that we are doing, you know, we always believe in giving back. So we have Rising Up that we support. And Rising Up is an organization, it's a nonprofit started by children who take different laptops and upcycle those to give to other students in need for the use in education and wellness. Always, you can be sure to like and subscribe. I mean, that's how we change the world, through the algorithm, right? So be sure, if you are watching us on the live stream on YouTube, like and subscribe, and also on all those different posts that we do on social media that gives you all the information. We promise to start doing a little more intimacy in those posts. But as it is, if you would like and subscribe to those as well, we would really appreciate it. And Jenna, do you have any announcements for us as well?
We did decide on dates for a live event, and it's the first weekend of November. So it's around the 7th of November, I believe. There'll be more to come on that and the specific title and how we're all going to go about it. And but yeah, we're going to have a live thing. And I'm sure
Yes,
that Mystique members might get a little discount for it too.
of course, of course. And of course, we're meeting, the Mystique meets the second Wednesday of every month. And so our next meeting will be on the 14th. Am I saying that right? Wednesday on the 14th. Join us. We have a couple of different ways to play with the Mystique Society, but we are having fun, and just kind of going back through today's call, a lot of people that we were asking to volunteer today, they were like, I don't really have anything. I feel so free right now. And a lot of people that are making those comments were part of the Mystique. So I felt really proud and happy about that a lot of us are feeling a lot of relief in our lives from participating. I don't know if there's the correlation, but they are Mystique members that were saying that. So I thought that was really, really fun. And we've got some hands raised and some fists like, yay.
That's awesome.
If you have interest in joining us, just email us at team@howithustle.com or visit us at howithustle.com/Mystique. Am I saying that right,
Yeah.
Jenna? Yes, great.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you are in Mystique and you haven't watched the show called The Three Lies that talks about the changes of Mystique, please go ahead and watch it so that you really understand why we were shifting things. My Friday's meditations will officially start in the middle of May, by the way. And I'm excited to do that and create some other things around it.
Well, everyone, it's been a joy to be with you today. Thank you, Kimberly, so much. And thank you all for coming and joining us. We hope you will visit us same time every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific. Have a great one, y'all.
Bye, everyone. See you on Thursday.